We're documenting the process of buying land, building houses, and we're on video number 9. One of the big things is trim out on the houses. I love trim out because it's when the house actually starts coming together, but it's also the most frustrating part of the entire build because we have trades on top of each other that are damaging each other's work and not respecting, like the painter for sake of example, or the flooring guys for sake of example. Today is one of those unique days where we had a lot of workers in here. We had tile guys working, and no trade, ladies and gentlemen, will clean up after themselves unless the prior trade cleans after themselves. So it's a constant management of making sure that the trade that's in there each day cleans. And if the trade that's in there each day cleans, then the trade that comes in next, you can hold them accountable for keeping the house clean. Otherwise, they pass the buck. Now, I've been out of town for a few days, and I will show you just by the lack of attention that we've had on this house for the last few days, how much can go awry in regards to the cleanup items in just like 2 days. We were here on Monday, it's Thursday, and when we left Monday afternoon, the house was completely clean, nothing on the floors, everything swept, and in a matter of just 3 days, well, we've been busy traveling and taking care of business, we come back and it looks like a dust storm with a lot of trash on the floors. Now, granted, the electricians will be here tomorrow. They have plugs and plate covers that are going in the walls because we're doing our final trim out on electrical right now. One of the biggest things is we had a little bit of cabinet issues. We're missing a few of the boxes of our cabinets, and we're doing what's called a waterfall countertop on our center island, but we're missing the actual spacers that go in between to trim all of the cabinets out so that we can actually get the templates done and get the actual cabinets finished up for full construction. So look, ladies and gentlemen, this is final trim out. There's a lot to go over. Follow me here and let me show you guys a little bit about how we do what we do. Flooring goes in. One of the big things is keeping everything modern looking. Now, we can either do one of two things. We can use ceramic tile for the floors, or we can do real wood. Ceramic tile costs a lot less. Plank flooring is still very popular and very trendy. So we picked plank flooring in here. We went with more of a rustic gray type color so that way it drew on some of the modern finishes of the house. We still keep a little bit of the tan. Now, one of the things that I'm still uncertain of is if we're going to change the color of the walls in the family room because of the tan color. We've always kept the tan color on our trim outs because people in the Southwest, they have Southwest looking furniture. And when we do super modern homes in times past, they've taken longer to sell. So our apprehension to do a fully modern home has always been semi-reserved because we get concerned that if it's a local buyer, they're going to have to refurnish the entire house to fit the more modern motif that's popular and trending right now. So what is the balance in regards to bringing in that modern feel, but yet still allowing people to have the furnishing of the Southwest and do more of that Southwest motif? So we've learned how to do Southwest mid-century modern build, but now we're going into some of the white shaker cabinets. We're using some of the more standard modern colors like the grays, the whites. And so we're trying to give them all of that modern feel that they want and love and is trending right now, but still giving them what they've asked for in the past with the more local Southwest color. So we will see as we trim this house out, whether we keep the tan and beige colors in the entryway and in the family room and leave the tan colors for the bedrooms, the hallways, and the garages, or if we leave everything the same. Right now, it seems extremely bold, but it always does. Every single time trimming out a house, it feels like the beige color is almost too much in its moment. And then once we actually get into the finished trim is when we come in and it actually starts looking like a house when everything starts coming together. So right now, things look out of place because they are. We're trimming out. We have bases to build for the cabinets. You see how these cabinets right here, ladies and gentlemen, they're smaller than these cabinets. So what we do is we build a base on the bottom that brings the level of this cabinet up to the height of this cabinet, so we could do what's called a waterfall top right here. The granite guys will come in and do granite countertops all the way along the top and then drop them all the way down the sides. So it'll cover the side part of it, but the base where the kicker is on the toe kick, you have to get the same color of your cabinets and you do a big toe kick to be able to cover it up and have the exact same color motif as your cabinets set in place for the base so that everything matches, okay? Now, we have the flooring that just finished up. Here's the sequence of events and how it goes. Once you get your house fully closed up, drywall on it, on the walls, you get the entire walls painted, okay? Now, before you get the walls painted, there's one thing that you have to do post drywall, and that's your shelving, okay? We do these butler's pantries, and in these butler's pantries, we do our uppers. Instead of doing cabinets, we do them with shelves. So this is where all your cereal boxes go. This is where all of your canned goods go. This is on these upper shelves is where all your food items go. Down here is where all your appliances go, your blenders, your mixers, your microwaves, all of the stuff that traditionally would go in the kitchen goes in your butler's pantry. We'll do nice countertops in here. We'll do a nice backsplash back here that'll look really attractive. We'll do full door handles on these cabinets that'll really make these cabinets pop. And this pantry will be finished off as part of an extension of the actual kitchen. So we have a lot of room here, a lot more room with these shelves in a pantry than we would otherwise get with cabinets. So a big attribute for this. Now, these cabinets go in prior to the painter coming in and actually painting, because they'll build these, the painter will come in, they'll caulk all of this and run through everything with caulking. And then once all this stuff is caulked, then they spray everything the same color and they get everything done clean and seamlessly. Let's go look at the master bedroom closets. Okay, master bedroom closets. One of the things that we do is we make our master bedrooms comfortable. And what I mean by we make them comfortable is we make them big enough to come in and put a bed, some end tables, television set, and not a lot of dressers and cabinets inside your finished master bedroom. We do big his and hers walk-in closets where we have a lot of shelf space, a lot of shoe space, and we have room where we can put dressers underneath the shelving so that your dressers and drawers are all set into the actual master bedroom closet. And there's plenty of hanging coats, pants, dress, and shirt racks for absolutely everything. Shoes, linens, you name it, these closets will service everything. You can even put your long-term bedding and comforting up on your top high shelves, the stuff that you don't utilize regularly. And one of the things that we land up doing in here is we always do our data panels in the laundry rooms, and then we do a plug up high that you can't see for our alarm systems, low voltage. So they're tucked away. You can come in, wire up your equipment for your alarms inside your master bedroom closets. We put plugs up high. They're out of sight, out of mind. They look real clean, crisp, and they're thought out, methodical, so that later on you don't have an alarm box in an area that's very visible. So we put them in an area that's less conspicuous and more hidden. Now, when we come in, we're doing this modern floors. I want some feedback on this stuff at finished construction. Now, these to me look like resort style, a little much for the Southwest, but this is what's trendy. The big giant porcelain tile that looks like marble. We're going to be doing this backdrop wall in the same material here, all trimmed out. And we're going to do a glass facade right over here. So the tile guys are waiting to finish off the tile here in order for us to set the tub. We have to center things out. I just showed that a little bit ago, where we have to center out this drain right here and make sure that this tub actually sits center to this window. And once we set this tub, we have to remove it again. Then we come in and we set the tile down, get the faucets installed, and then they'll come in and the glass guys will set our glass in here, and all the tile will look seamless when it's all finished and done. So there's a few moving pieces and a few trades that have to work together at this piece in the game. The trades that have to work together is the tile guys and the plumbers right now, because the tile guys can't finish until the plumbers actually set your fixtures. So when you get to this stage in the game, you want to make sure in advance when you're doing your floorings, when you start your flooring, that you purchase your tubs, your garden tubs, and your wall faucets. Make sure that you have everything prepared so that way, if we have to cut sheetrock, we come in, we do it now. The tile, you can get repaired before we put the tile on the walls. If we have to jackhammer concrete, which we did to have to center the drain, we can do that before the flooring goes down. We'll move that over. We'll dry pack that with cement. And then once that's dry packed with cement, we'll come in and put our flooring over the top of everything. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is an integral piece of making sure that everything lines up and is finished out respectfully with a professional quality finish and trimmed out where everything aligns perfectly. Another big trim item that I look for is how my sinks align with my light fixtures. And right now, my sinks and my light fixtures, they don't make sense. The sink is going to actually go in the center of this cabinet right here. The light fixture sits over about 11 inches from the center of this cabinet. This light fixture needs to get pushed over about 10 to 11 inches, and then it'll sit right over the top of that sink. That way, when we do the full wall of mirrors here, it is just crisp and seamless. This one right here, same thing. The sink is going to sit to the center of this cabinet right here. So this has to get moved over to sit right to the center of the cabinet, right in this point. Now, those little trim details are super important, guys. If you build a custom home that's going to sell for $800,000, your center of your sink sits here, the center of your light fixture sits here. Any sophisticated buyer knows it's not supposed to be like that. So it's a simple fix. The electricians have to move the fixture over to center with the center of the sink. When they center out the fixture with the center of the sink, everything aligns and it looks extremely attractive. Now, we're going to do wood baseboards in here, painted colonial white. We're going to offset it to the birch white that we used on the ceilings. We typically do tile baseboards in all our wet areas, but because of the modern design that we have and this new porcelain tile that's going in. One of our biggest concerns is the fact that when we cut this porcelain, it's not going to look right on the final trim out. So to keep it looking really crisp and professional, we're going to use standard 3 3/4 inch baseboard around the entire trim out of the bathroom, with the exception of the back wall that's going to be getting tiled along with the backdrop. So ladies and gentlemen, right now we are buying land, building houses, and we're trimming out the house. The electricians are coming in after the painters and after the tile guys, and they start doing a trim out on all the electrical. The trim out consists of all the plugs and all the switches going in, and then all the plates going in. Now, one of the big things right now is modern's in, so instead of using like a cream color trim out, we'll use white. We have white doors. We're doing colonial white on all of our doors, trim, baseboard, and so we'll use a traditional white trim out the rest of our baseboard and so forth. One thing that I just noticed right now, recording this video, is that brushed gold is very popular right now. Don't buy ceiling fans online. Ceiling fans online, they suck. They're cheap and they suck. Don't buy ceiling fans online. Go to the store, pick out your ceiling fans, they match. The light fixtures online are fine. They're coming in with a real brushed gold finish that's trending right now. But all of the fans, they look like plastic. They look like garbage. Do not buy your fans online. I'm going to put 2 fans in the trash on this build right now because the gold just doesn't match. So you be stubborn. And I can save myself $600 by not matching it. But when a sophisticated buyer comes in, ladies and gentlemen, they'll know that trim out just doesn't match. I'll go back to the drawing board. I'll get 2 really nice fans, and I'm going to scratch these 2 fans completely. They're garbage. They're gone. Once we get the flooring done, we start doing the trim out on the baseboard. Flooring has to go down first. Then the trim carpenters come back in. They come in before you actually do the paint, then they come in right after you do the paint. So they come in and they do all of the closets and they get everything set up for the actual finish of the house. And then once the flooring goes in, all the baseboard goes in afterwards, including the doors. Now the doors can get hung, the hinges go on. Now the house starts getting exciting because now we start seeing final trim items come together. The painters come in while they're working on all that. They start staining all the natural wood that's going to remain in the entire house. And we start making this thing look like a house. Now here's what's exciting, ladies and gentlemen. The house right now doesn't look like a house. It looks like a zoo. And the reason it looks like a zoo is because there is shit everywhere. It drives me crazy. This is the part of the building that drives me probably the most insane until we finish the entire house. It's like walking on nerves. Every time I show up, all I see is shit going wrong, right? And what I mean by shit going wrong is it's like not catastrophic stuff. This is where management comes into play. It's petty stuff that the contractors should know should be taken care of without you telling them. But because they work with their eyes closed, or at least their employees do, there is so many detail items at this phase of the build that you really have to put your goggles on as a contractor and really pay close attention. Because if you don't, they're going to charge you later and say, why didn't you tell me when I was doing it at X, Y, and Z stage of the game? And that's during the trim stage, guys. Because right now, if you have to cut open sheetrock, move light fixtures, it's okay. Painters have to come back and do final coats on baseboard. They have to do touch-ups still. So we want to try to minimize how much touch-up they have to do. And the only way that we can do that is by coming into these builds and positioning ourselves where we micromanage the vast majority of the details right now in the trim phase. And then we migrate into the final completion stage where we do our blue tape items and we go through the entire house and we blue tape absolutely everything. So there's a few working pieces here that have to coincide together. And we probably should have done a video 8 and video 9. If you guys have not watched my 24 series videos of documenting the process of how to buy land and build houses, you guys go back. I'm going to recommend the old series from start to finish to watch the entire process. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a lot more advanced students, we're pulling in our documenting the process with a little bit more information, all in single videos, slightly longer. So instead of 20-minute videos, you guys are getting a little bit longer videos that allow you guys to see the entire process of this. Now, let's take a look at our exterior and let's see what the exterior brings at this phase of the game. So now it's time for finished grade and exterior trim out components. The stucco, the brown coat was on the last video, on video number 8. The color coat has been facilitated on the 8th video. And where we're at now is the color coat has been completely finished. Notice that from video number 8, I talked about our weep screeds in the drainage area right here. That is fully exposed, fully available for the permeability of water to come down, drain out, and dissipate. Now, we'll stucco 6 inches underground. The actual dirt level will actually come up to about right here. This is all cement under here, but we want to go 6 inches underground. So when we come in, our finished grade will be someplace right about this place right here on the cement. Our finished gravel will come up to right here. All of our drainage will come through the weep screeds and down into the gravel, and it'll be permeable. Right now, we haven't finished our finished grade. We have the cleanup crew coming in They've already done 2 days of cleanup at where we are right now. They did a preliminary cleanup because the exterior becomes an absolute mess. And so we come in, we pick up trash, we pick up big boulders, rocks, concrete stakes, lumber, forming material, and all the little tiny things that people don't take into account when they're building the house as far as cleanup items. Tomorrow, they'll come in, they'll do a final rake of all of the material here, nails, roofing nails, stucco nails, staples, and just general trash. They'll rake all this stuff up, get ready for the tractor guys for the finished grade. We'll come in, we'll do our finished grade, and we'll get all of our driveways and walkways formed in our next phase to get our driveways poured, our walkways poured, and to get ready for landscaping. Now, our exterior trim, once stucco is down, the pillar areas, this is very important. You have to do a concrete and waterproof base underneath all tile or stone areas to make them waterproof. You can't just put tile on top of wood. So one of the things that we've done here is we did what's called a brown coat. And then at the brown coat stage, we came in and we put the tile, and this is actually natural travertine right here. We did a lighter honed travertine. I really wanted to use a gray and white one. They discontinued it. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I did one that still had a little bit of a cream color, but it does match the nice color motif of the house with a little bit of contrast in here, which is what you want. And it still has a lot of the whites in there, so it actually shows the house off really, really well. And so now our finished stone needs to get some finished grouting. Again, finished trim out items. It's not perfect yet. The tile guys are not completely finished. It's the part of the tile phase that still drives me crazy because the tile guys feel like they're done. They leave a mess here like they're coming back tomorrow, but they don't. And because they're waiting for other components of the house to get done so that they come in and don't feel like they've wasted their time coming in and grouting 2 pillars. They want to come in and try to do as much of the work all at one time for labor purposes. Now, let's come off the exterior facade of the house and let's talk about finished grade. If you guys look here, I have a diversion channel on this side of the house. This diversion channel flows with water when it rains really heavy. We don't want to add and contribute to that. In fact, the engineers on the grade and drainage plan want you to hold and retain your water on your own site. So our civil engineer says we have to trough the lot. A trough is like a V on the lot where it drains away from your foundation, but it still keeps it on your lot. And so this trough lands up coming from uphill and we grade it downhill into what we call a recession pond. And our civil engineer called out our retention pond right over here. So our retention pond, you can look in here. We had some heavy rains. We're in the monsoon season. Right now, this pond filled up about halfway on that last rain. And so we had put this in the perfect time because all this would have taken that embankment and we would have started creating erosion on our finished pad site. And we don't want to do that. So one of the big things is being able to contain your water and control flow. Once the yard is landscaped and we put bedding stone into this area, it's going to stabilize the soil and keep it from eroding when we do have heavy thunderstorms and keep it retained on the lot. These can be great landscape components when you're building, ladies and gentlemen. These right here, right now, look like just a big giant swamp hole, but what we typically do is when we trim these out, we make the finished landscaping complement all of our retention ponds so it actually becomes a piece of the finished trim out of the house. And with a little bit of gravel, a little bit of cobblestone, the finished expense trimming that out correctly is very minimal in the process of the rest of the landscaping. Now, we had a little bit of settling. This was great for us because we're able to see where the settling and it's going to take place. This is where our septic tank was brought in, and the tractor guys don't like to compact this real heavy because they don't want that heavy tractor on top of this. So now when we do our finished grade, that moisture that we got the other day actually settled some of the dirt that wasn't compacted. We typically come in, we wet these areas down and come in with a little skid steer, a little bobcat, and we roll these areas. Before we were able to have that done, we got these massive rainstorms. This stuff eroded and settled. So now when we come in, we do the finished grade, we'll backfill, we'll compact all this, we'll roll it, and then we'll be finished. There's a lot of rock debris in this soil, so a lot of this will land up as cobblestone on the embankment for erosion control. So repurposing some of those materials is very, very, very important. But we have the finished facade. The plumber's going to start trimming out their faucets and their exterior and interior components. We're going to trim out the backyard, make it look like a respectable, habitable home, and we're going to put ourselves in a position to start getting this house finished up. So right now, we're buying land, we're building houses. There's a lot of moving pieces to this right now. This is where you bring in, and I'm going to go through this in a nutshell. This is where you come in and you start buying light fixtures, plumbing fixtures. You want to have this stuff stocked in your garage or in a trailer, or you want it in a safe place that it can't be stolen from. Or position yourself with a supplier where you purchase the lighting, they house it for you the day before your electricians come out and actually start hanging fixtures. They come and deliver those fixtures. You change the lockbox code. right here, because the biggest thieves are the employees that work for your subcontractors. And so it's not random people that are stealing. So the day that we get all our fixtures delivered, I come down, I change the lockbox code, and I make sure that the lockbox code is different so that nobody can get in and steal my fixtures until the electricians get there. That way, if it rains or something happens, these guys don't show up, you don't have other trade workers in here. And if you do have trade workers in here, the first thing they're going to do when they get here there is what? Call you, because they don't have a code. So now you know exactly who's been in your home since you drop your fixtures. And so you can press your electricians to come in, get those fixtures hung, because once the fixtures are hung, you reduce the probability of having them stolen. And so one of the biggest things, you want to reduce liability. Once you get the fixtures actually installed, most people aren't going to climb up with a ladder and take down your light fixtures and steal them. So one of the most important things that you want to do is position yourself to win and position yourself where you reduce liability. Once the fixtures go in, you want to make sure that your cabinets get finished, and then you'll call your granite guys immediately after your cabinets go in for them to template your cabinets and start on the granite. The granite, usually you can get it installed within a 2-week period, and then you can come in and start your final plumbing trim out. Once you get your cabinets, your countertops in, now all your sinks can come in, and you can start dropping your farm sinks, your kitchen sink, your bathroom sinks, your tubs, your faucets, everything can go in. You can trim out the rest of the house. That's where it really gets fun as far as cleanup, being able to comb through the entire house, sweep it, clean it, and get everybody out of here, have the painters come through one last time and get everything trimmed out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, video number 10 is going to be intense with trim out and cleanup items. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, the house is a dirty zoo. I hate this stage in the game. You will too if you believe in high quality, because right now, your nerves are on the brink of exploding because trade contractors are all over the place, and it's your responsibility to manage a high quality, effective, and efficient finish to your build. For more content just like this, click and subscribe to our YouTube channel, pound that thumbs up button, and ladies and gentlemen, at the end of this video, click and watch the series from video number 1 all the way through, me documenting the process of buying land and building houses for you to go out and compound your success.